Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we honor our best at the 2017 ASHA Awards ceremony. Please welcome Chair of the Committee on Honors, Sharon E. Moss.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started.
The American Speech Language Hearing Association, not unlike thousands of other professional associations made up of dynamic members, make broad and significant contributions to society on a daily basis. It's because of the many ordinary people who carry out exceptional deeds that collectively enable us to play such a vital role in enriching the lives of so many. It's the stellar contributions across the fabric of our discipline that enable us to create positive change in the communication status of individuals, to address concerns, to answer questions, and to enhance the quality of life. Good evening and welcome to the 2017 ASHA Awards ceremony, the most exciting night of the convention. Tonight, we honor some of those ordinary people whose achievements and contributions have significantly shaped or impacted the future of our discipline in immeasurable ways. This ceremony celebrates the highest professional achievements and scientific contributions of our ASHA colleagues. We will present the honors of the association, ASHA's most prestigious award, which recognizes lifetime achievement. We will then present the ASHA Fellows, class of 2017, for achieving documented, outstanding contributions that reflect the highest standards of excellence and commitment. And we will present additional awards for a wide range of contributions to the discipline and to the association. Selecting the recipients of all of the awards presented tonight is the responsibility of a great group of your peers who bring integrity, commitment to the process and to service, insight, and enthusiasm to their role. I would like to take a moment to thank all of the volunteers on the Committee on Honors and the ASHA staff who worked alongside me this year. It has been an honor to serve with each of them, and I've enjoyed my service on the Committee on Honors immensely. Paul Kaleni, Vice Chair. Joan Biesing. Shelley Shaban. Stephanie Davidson. Dennis Hampton. Julie Knoll. Janet Patterson. Brian Schulman. And ASHA staff, Marty Moore, the Board of Director Manager, was our ex officio. Please give a round of applause to your 2017 Committee on Honors. We have many outstanding individuals to honor tonight, so let's get started. Assisting me in the presentation is ASHA President Gail Richard. We will begin with the Fellows of the Association. Now, it's been said that when you allow your passion to become your purpose, it will one day become your profession. And that is indeed the case for the 15 individuals being honored tonight. For not only have they made outstanding contributions to the discipline of communication sciences and disorders, but they've done so by bringing an obvious and distinct passion to their respective areas of clinical service, teaching, research, administration, service to ASHA, or service to state or other national or international organizations. Their commitment and work has advanced our knowledge, fostered advocacy, increased our evidence, passed legislation, created innovation, innovative treatment methods, and nurtured future practitioners. Please welcome to the stage our newest ASHA Fellows, the class of 2017.
Michael Blomgren. Ryan C. Bransky. Martin B. Brodsky. Julia L. Evans, who is unable to join us. Wayne A. Foster. Melanie Freed Oken. Dan C. Halling. Lisa N. Kelchner. Do-Hoon Ko. Marjorie L. Nicholas. Shari Robertson. Barry Hoffman Reddy, who is unable to join us. Preeti M. Sivasankar. Deborah M. Suter. Glenn M. Tellis.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you the newest ASHA Fellows. Please congratulate them with a well-deserved round of applause. Martin Luther King Jr. has been quoted as saying, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" As you are introduced to the 9 remarkable recipients of our next award, the Honors of the Association, the highest award bestowed by ASHA, you will see just a few examples of how impactful their contributions have been on others, nationally and internationally, thus creating a critical wave of change. If you don't know them, you soon will, as you hear their stories in our video tributes throughout the evening. These honors recipients have had such outstanding careers that it's easy to lose sight of how they reached this pinnacle. As members of the Committee on Honors, we are privileged to read the passionate, heartfelt nominations submitted by appreciative colleagues. Our honorees can only be described by words such as authentic, integrity, collaborative, inclusive, courageous, and dedicated. While each pursued different professional paths, 2 characteristics are common to all of our awardees. They have passionately mentored students and colleagues, and they have embraced and demonstrated the highest level of interprofessional education and practice. Let's see some of their steps along the way, beginning now with our first honoree, Anthony S. Bashir, without whom our understanding of the continuum of language disorders would not be what it is today. It's been said that Anthony is the heart, the soul, and the core of language learning disabilities. We introduce you to Anthony.
Anthony S. Bashir is an adjunct professor at the Boston College Lynch School of Education. When Anthony was a chemistry major at Northwestern University, he found himself having a bit of an existential crisis.
I said to my roommate one day, "This isn't feeding me the right way." And he said, "My girlfriend is over in communication disorders. Why don't you go talk to her?"
Which he did, convincing him to become a graduate student in speech pathology at Northwestern. After finishing his doctorate, Anthony was torn between academia and clinical academics. He chose the latter, joining the Children's Hospital in Boston, where he directed the program in speech-language pathology for 25 years.
I chose to go to clinical academics because of the extensive opportunity I would have to enter into a larger care system for children and their families.
The next critical point in Anthony's professional life came when he left Children's Hospital to help develop the Freshman Academic Studies program for at-risk freshmen at Emerson College, directing the program for 12 years. Dr. Daniel Bowie had an incredible influence on Anthony at this time.
That Dr. Dan Bowie had supported me in terms of helping me think about how to build a program that was founded on relationship, and how relationship built safety, and how safety allowed kids to risk to learn. Just profound the way it works.
Another turning point came when Anthony began working with Dr. Bonnie Singer more than 20 years ago. They developed an understanding of executive functions and self-regulation and created Empower, a set of strategies teachers of all grades can use to guide their students in the expository writing process. One of the most personally rewarding moments of Anthony's career was when he helped a young Orthodox Jewish boy learn the 4 questions, which the youngest child is to recite at the family's Passover Seder.
He was cerebral palsy quad, a severe dysarthria. When I think about the power of freeing someone up to be able to utter words, and by uttering words, they become firmly grounded within the history of their entire heritage.
Anthony is indebted to his teachers and to the colleagues he's worked with over the years. He's also grateful to his parents for their support.
They guided me and they framed my thinking and my action.
Anthony is passionate about service outside his work life, too. He volunteers as a counselor on a suicide hotline. He's involved with an Orthodox Christian camp for youth, and he supports men in recovery at a local prison, just to name a few. Anthony's father often quoted Teddy Roosevelt, who said, "Far and away, the best prize that life offers is the chance to work hard at work worth doing."
Been working now for 50 some odd years at work worth doing. It's been a great gift.
ASHA is proud to celebrate the life and work of 2017 honoree Anthony S. Bashir.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2017 honoree Anthony S. Bashir. Our 2017 honorees have rich, well-rounded lives. Let's look now at the remarkable life and work of our next honoree, Alan O. Diefendorf, whose over 40-year career of teaching and mentorship has opened doors and created lasting pathways for understanding pediatric audiology, hearing assessment, and screening practices for special populations. Let's hear more about Alan.
Alan O. Diefendorf is a professor emeritus from the Indiana University School of Medicine and a visiting professor at Butler University. It was just before Alan's senior year of college. His career goal was to become a dentist. But then, his 3.5-year-old niece was diagnosed with severe bilateral sensorineural hearing loss.
My dad, who was a general surgeon, asked me to go to the university clinic and find out as much as I could about hearing loss and what do you do about it. By the time I was concluding my senior year in college, I shifted from going to dental school to going to graduate school in audiology.
Alan realized that the earlier hearing losses identified, the better. He also learned that the Joint Committee on Infant Hearing, which was formed back in 1969, had as its goal identifying all children with hearing loss within the first 6 months of life nationwide. But coming up with a way to do that proved challenging. His involvement in the work of the Joint Committee expanded, and from 1993 to 1997, Alan served as the chair of the Joint Committee on Infant Hearing.
The work that went into the Joint Committee on Infant Hearing during those 5 years was, I think, really pivotal to moving us just a little bit closer to the goal, which was implemented in between 1999 and 2000.
Once the national mandate was completed, Alan began a 4-year tenure as chair of the State of Indiana Governor's Advisory Board on Newborn Hearing Screening and Intervention. He was charged with implementing the guidelines statewide.
Fulfilling is a great word, because when you take something that has occurred at the national level and you can bring it home to your state and implement a law and then set up screening for 85,000 babies a year born in the state of Indiana.
Alan is grateful for the positive impact many colleagues have had on his career and the opportunities to work with so many outstanding individuals. Notably, there was Vanderbilt University's Dr. Fred Bess and Dr. Freeman McConnell.
Dr. Bess, being a couple of years older than me, he sort of took me under his wing and continued to provide that great support throughout my career. And we remain very, very good friends today. Dr. Bess and I had something in common, and that was Dr. Freeman McConnell, who was pivotal in terms of supporting our careers and providing motivation and great support.
The significance of Alan's entire family to his career development cannot be overstated, from his parents and brothers to his wife Erin of 39 years and their 2 adult children, Emily and Andrew.
I have had an incredibly stable and an extremely close-knit family life from the time I was an infant until now as an adult. Any success that somebody would say that I've had is clearly due to the fact that I've had an incredible family life my whole life.
ASHA is proud to celebrate the life and work of 2017 honoree Alan O. Diefendorf.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2017 honoree Alan O. Diefendorf. Let's hear more about our 2017 ASHA Honors with a look at the accomplishments of Sandra Gordon-Salant, a proud alumnus of Northwestern University who has dedicated her career to tackling some of the most challenging questions facing audiology and hearing science. Let's meet Sandra.
Sandra Gordon-Salant is a professor in the Hearing and Speech Sciences Department at the University of Maryland. As a young girl growing up in Plainview, New York, Sandra was surrounded by music. Both her parents were musicians. They encouraged her to study hearing and speech sciences and become a speech-language pathologist. One undergraduate summer, Sandra volunteered at the Brooklyn Eye and Ear Infirmary in New York. She had her sights set on graduate school but was conflicted about what to study, continue in speech-language pathology or switch to audiology. An audiologist at the infirmary named Pat Masson helped Sandra make up her mind.
He took me under his wing and he decided he was going to be a one-man graduate program in audiology, and I just loved every minute of it.
Sandra named Fred Whiteman as having been vital to her professional journey. He began as her PhD mentor at Northwestern and continued on as her lifelong mentor.
He fostered independence in his students. Okay, you have an idea, go and run with it.
Sandra also cites ASHA as having been instrumental in her professional life. As an assistant professor, ASHA asked her if she'd volunteer as a grant reviewer for the National Institutes of Health. She agreed, eventually becoming a member of 2 high-level study sections.
The value initially was just getting on those review panels because you can see so clearly the difference between a well-written grant and a poorly written grant. It just opened up so many opportunities for me.
Sandra would like to thank 2 people in particular for their support, both of whom were fellow students at Northwestern and are now colleagues and friends. The first is Pete Fitzgibbons.
He is responsible for me getting my one and only academic job. So he and I have been really lifelong colleagues in the research program, and I definitely could not have been as successful in my research career if I didn't work with him.
The second colleague and friend Sandra would like to thank is Larry Humes.
He's always just been incredibly supportive of my work and my career.
More personally, Sandra thanks her college sweetheart turned husband, Steve, for his support in every facet of her life.
He's another one. I just couldn't have done what I have been able to do without him.
Sandra names 3 facets of her career that have been most meaningful and motivating. First is her nurturing friendships with wonderful colleagues. Second is her work with bright students who keep her perennially young. Third is her research focused on the problems older people have in understanding speech, which she hopes has contributed meaningfully to alleviating these challenges. She loves spending her free time with Steve and their adult children, Brian and Maida, as well as Brian's wife, Katisha, and their 15-month-old son, Cheru.
I'm happiest when we're all together and we could sit around talking and we just have an easy rapport.
ASHA is proud to celebrate the life and work of 2017 honoree Sandra Gordon Salant.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2017 honoree Sandra Gordon Salant. Persistence, selfless attitude, and motivation are the hallmark of these next three recipients for certificates of recognition. The Certificate of Recognition for Outstanding Contributions in International Achievement recognizes distinguished achievements and significant contributions in the area of communication disorders resulting in great international impact. The recipient of this award this year is Mark Douglas Sims. The Certificate of Recognition for Special Contributions in Multicultural Affairs this year acknowledges a member who has made distinguished contributions in professional education, research, and clinical service to diverse populations. The recipient is Kenyatta O. Rivers. Kenyatta was unable to attend this evening's program. The Early Career Contributions in Research Award recognizes significant scientific accomplishments by individuals who are in the early stages of their careers. This year, ASHA recognizes one recipient for their early scientific achievements, Sonia M. Malfenter. Let's look now at the remarkable life and work of our next honoree, Karen Eiler-Kirk, whose pioneering work in pediatric cochlear implants has led to notable changes in our field. Originally hailing from the state of California, let's meet Karen.
Karen Eiler-Kirk is the Shahid and Ann Carlson Kahn Professor and Department Head at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign's Department of Speech and Hearing Science. It was Los Angeles, and the year was 1981. Dr. William House, the inventor of the House 3M single-channel cochlear implant, was putting together a cochlear implant team, and he was looking to hire a speech-language pathologist. A friend recommended Karen.
She said, "Oh, you should hire my friend Karen. She's fabulous." I wasn't fabulous. I'd only been working in the field for a year.
But Dr. House saw Karen's potential and hired her. She developed a speech and language assessment protocol and for the next several years administered the test to the children before and after getting cochlear implants in longitudinal studies. In fact, Karen published the first peer-reviewed paper in the U.S. on speech and language outcomes in children with cochlear implants.
That completely changed my career trajectory. It got me motivated to go back to school and learn more about how children process language and how a hearing impairment would impact that.
The next milestone in Karen's career came when she was ready to get her PhD. She chose the University of Iowa based on its reputation and the NIH-funded cochlear implant research that was being conducted there. She is grateful to so many faculty members, including Paul Abbas, Richard Hertig, Nancy Ty Murray, and Richard Tyler. After Iowa, she joined the Department of Otolaryngology Head and Neck Surgery at the Indiana University School of Medicine, working with Dr. Richard Miyamoto. She went on to become Director of Research in the DeVault Otologic Research Laboratory, where she conducted NIH-funded research concerning cochlear implant outcomes. It was here that she met Professor David Pisoni, who would have a profound influence on Karen's professional life.
He really got me thinking about things from a different perspective, not just the output, but what's happening in terms of perceptual processing.
Karen has had more than 20 years of funding from NIH to support her research. This NIH-funded research has had an international impact both on cochlear implant candidacy criteria and assessment procedures, including the development of the lexical neighborhood test. The LNT was adopted for use in many FDA clinical trials of pediatric cochlear implant systems. It has been adapted for use in Mandarin, Cantonese, Hindi, and Farsi. Karen is indebted to her family for their unwavering support. First, there was Karen's mother, a single parent who encouraged Karen and her identical twin sister Sharon to pursue a college education and a career. Karen and her husband Jerry have each taken turns moving across the country for each other's careers.
I think my husband's been incredibly supportive. He's really been an equal partner in our home life.
And then there are Karen and Jerry's children. They're twins, Brian and Sarah, and son Andrew with his wife Shauna and their son Cash. ASHA is proud to celebrate the life and work of 2017 honoree Karen Eiler Kirk.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2017 honoree Karen Eiler Kirk. Our next 2017 honoree is Ann W. Kummer. Let's look at the career path and exceptional endeavors of Ann, who has traveled the world, married her junior high school sweetheart, and managed to find time to enhance and markedly alter the course of the professions through achievements in the area of cleft palate and velopharyngeal insufficiency.
Ann W. Kummer is a professor of clinical pediatrics and professor of otolaryngology at the University of Cincinnati College of Medicine. She recently retired as the Senior Director of Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center's Division of Speech-Language Pathology. Throughout high school and college, Ann worked in her otolaryngologist's father's office on weekends and during summers. Originally, she was going to follow in his footsteps, either as an ENT or a pediatrician.
I met my husband in 7th grade, and we decided we wanted to get married after college. And so I was looking for something that I could get through faster that would still meet my needs of science and making diagnoses and helping other people. And my dad suggested speech pathology.
Anne finished a combined bachelor's-master's program at Indiana University in a little over 4 years. They married, and she worked while her husband went to law school. The first of 3 critical points in Anne's professional life occurred shortly after her husband finished law school.
I got my dream job at Cincinnati Children's, where I could work with kids because I always wanted to do pediatrics, and it was a medical center. I was able to work on the craniofacial team. That was exactly what I loved.
Later on, she was promoted to director and then senior director of the hospital's division of speech-language pathology, which is the second critical point. Anne developed the division into the largest speech-language pathology program in the country, with one of the best reputations. All clinical staff have extensive specialty training so that each patient is seen by a specialist, not a generalist.
I love working with others and helping others to develop their careers.
The third critical point in Anne's career was the publication of her textbook, Cleft Palate and Craniofacial Anomalies.
When I started teaching the craniofacial class at University of Cincinnati, I felt that the textbooks were not clinically oriented. I wanted to write a book that was very practical, easy to read, and very clinically focused.
As a result of her textbook and numerous national presentations, Anne has been invited to present lectures and courses all over the world, including Japan, Thailand, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, India, Switzerland, Brazil, Ecuador, Costa Rica, and of course, Canada. In the spring, she will be lecturing in Lebanon and again in Turkey. Anne would like to acknowledge 3 people who were instrumental in her professional journey. The first is Dr. Linda Lee, a University of Cincinnati professor in Anne's PhD program, who became a great mentor and friend.
She really encouraged me to get out there and to write and to lecture and to make an impact.
The other 2 are physicians on her craniofacial team. She's worked with Dr. David Billmeyer, a plastic surgeon, and Dr. J. Paul Wilging, an ENT, for nearly 40 years.
They're both really amazing physicians and great surgeons. And so they've blessed my life in that when I refer a patient to them, I know that child is going to get the best surgery ever.
In terms of personal support, Anne says she owes much to the incredible staff of her division at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. She's still humbled by a leadership award they gave her.
It touched me that, they're giving somebody who sort of is the boss, although I never liked that word, an award for leading them.
Finally, Anne also wants to thank her husband for always being amazingly supportive of her career. She says that she could not have had this great career and raised 2 wonderful children without his love and support. ASHA is proud to celebrate the life and work of 2017 honoree Anne W. Kummer.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2017 honoree Anne W. Kummer. Our next awards were presented at other events at the convention, and this evening the recipients receive a special mention.
The ASHA Journals Awards were presented at the Researcher Academic Town Meeting on Wednesday, November 8th. The awards encompass 2 categories of publication-related awards: the Alfred K. Kawana Award for Lifetime Achievement in Publications and the Editors Awards. The Kawana Award for Lifetime Achievement in Publications, named in memory of the late Alfred K. Kawana, former director of ASHA Publications, recognizes a sustained history of exemplary publications by a scholar whose journal contributions span a period of at least 10 years and are meritorious in their educational, scientific, or clinical value. The recipient for 2017 is Susan Ellis Weismer. Every year, the editor-in-chief and editors of each ASHA journal select the article that meets the highest quality standards in research design, presentation, and impact. These articles are examples of the best in communication sciences and disorders research. The Editor's Award for American Journal of Audiology was awarded to Frank Eigelhart for the article Speech Perception in Classroom Acoustics by Children with Cochlear Implants and with Typical Hearing. The Editor's Award for American Journal of Speech-Language Pathology was awarded to Irina Castellanos, David B. Pisoni, William G. Cronenberger, Jessica Beer, for the article Early Expressive Language Skills Predict Long-Term Neurocognitive Outcomes in Cochlear Implant Users, Evidence from the MacArthur Bates Communicative Development Inventories. The Editor's Award for Journal of Speech, Language, and Hearing Research Speech Section was awarded to Julie Case, Maria I. Grigos, for the article Articulatory Control in Childhood Apraxia of Speech in a Novel Word-Learning Task. The Editor's Award for Journal of Speech, Language, and Hearing Research Language Section was awarded to Sarah Northcott, Jane Marshall, Katerina Hilari, for the article What Factors Predict Who Will Have a Strong Social Network Following a Stroke? The Editor's Award for Journal of Speech, Language, and Hearing Research Hearing Section was awarded to Michael F. Dorman, Julie Liss, Shui Wang, Visar Barisha, Cimarron Ludwig, Sarah Cook Natali, for the article Experiments on Auditory Visual Perception of Sentences by Users of Unilateral, Bimodal, and Bilateral Cochlear Implants. The Editor's Award for Language, Speech, and Hearing Services in Schools was awarded to Christina N. Myers-Denman, Elena Plant, for the article Dose Schedule and Enhanced Conversational Recast Treatment for Children with Specific Language Impairment.
Please give a round of applause to these individuals for their accomplishments. Let us now see who received the Media Awards and who the Media Outreach Champions are.
ASHA's Media Awards recognize significant contributions by individuals and organizations for news coverage and media programming that illustrate the impact of communication disorders on quality of life, how communication disorders are treated, the programs and services available for individuals with communication disorders, or research in communication sciences and disorders. A special mention goes out to the Media Award recipients: Broadcast Media, ABC TV, Philadelphia, Science Friday, NBC News, WYUU Tampa. Digital Media, Autism Speaks official blog, U.S. News and World Report, Slate. Print Media, The Washington Post, Consumer Reports, The New York Times, WebMD Magazine. Special Award, Kaiser Permanente Center for Total Health. The ASHA Media Outreach Champion Awards recognize individual ASHA members who foster media relations that benefit the communication sciences and disorders professions. A special mention goes out to the Media Outreach Champions: Ami Shaw, Joy Peterson, Craig Coleman.
The commonality of our next few recipients is that they set intentions, They listened to their passion. They remained focused. They practiced determination. And now we celebrate their achievements. This next award, the Distinguished Service Award, recognizes significant contributions to the associations, the professions of audiology and/or speech-language pathology, or consumerism by distinguishing themselves in consumer advocacy, legislative or other governmental affairs activity, public awareness, research, or service to the association by individuals or organizations that are not members of ASHA. This year's recipient is Brian M. Stowe. I like Brian. Our next award, the Outstanding Service Award, recognizes ASHA members or national office personnel who have offered outstanding and exemplary service on behalf of or for the association. Recipients are recognized for their contribution in administration, program development, and service to members. This year's first recipient is Ellen C. Fagan. This year's second recipient is Patrima L. Tice. Let's look now at the remarkable life and work of our next honoree, Sally J. Peterson Falzone, who has had an impactful and far-reaching career that distinguishes her as a nationally and internationally recognized expert in cleft palate and craniofacial differences. We introduce you to Sally.
Sally Peterson Falzone is a clinical professor emerita at the University of California, San Francisco. Toward the end of high school, Sally found herself with 2 college scholarships, but no idea which field she wanted to study. Her mother suggested she look into speech pathology, which is what Sally's Aunt Phyllis did.
I was not driven in that direction, but once I got into it, I was interested.
When Sally took her first job at what was then the University of Illinois Cleft Palate Clinic, she had no idea that it would have such a profound impact on her professional life.
The man who was the director there, he converted his cleft palate center into a craniofacial center, and that one was the first in the United States, probably the first in the world.
That man was Dr. Samuel Przansky, director of the Cleft Palate Clinic at the University of Illinois Medical Center in Chicago. He saw that individuals with more complex craniofacial problems needed the same interdisciplinary care that children with clefts were receiving.
He needed to know how the faces and heads of children with cleft and other craniofacial anomalies grew, what happened to the craniofacial complex as the child matured, what happened as a result of the surgery. He forced me to learn about what influences the outcomes of treatment.
Sally started publishing articles on speech and hearing problems in children with clefts. After working in Chicago for 2 years, Sally entered graduate school at the University of Iowa to work on her doctorate. Her mentor was Dr. Hugh Morris.
Hugh Morris was also very interested in outcomes of treatment, primarily in what the speech outcomes were. Are we producing a child capable of normal speech output when we operate on them and when we do speech therapy?
When she returned to the U of I Center for Craniofacial Anomalies, she began publishing articles on other craniofacial birth defects. In 1973, with the combined sponsorship of ASHA and the National Institutes of Health, she published a seminal article on speech pathology in craniofacial malformations other than cleft lip and palate. Sally would like to first thank all of her patients over the years, whom she says taught her a great deal.
They teach by being willing to share things with you. They teach when they tell you you're doing something wrong. I love that.
She also thanks former boss, orthodontist Karen Vargovic, who enlisted Sally to travel on 21 missions around the world for the Alliance for Smiles, which provides children in underserved areas free treatment for cleft lip and palate anomalies.
The amount of good that they produce for families that just couldn't begin to afford this care, and countries where medical care is terrible.
Finally, Sally would like to thank her husband, Nick.
He's tolerated all those trips to China. He also tolerated the enormous time and attention that it takes to write books. And I was the lead author of 2 books.
ASHA is proud to celebrate the life and work of 2017 honoree Sally J. Peterson Falzone.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2017 honoree Sally J. Peterson Falzone. I think Sally wanted more time on the stage. Our next 2017 honoree is David Allen Shapiro. Let's look at his career path, astonishing, groundbreaking endeavors, and how the profound words of a loving grandfather impacted his career choice and ultimately his ability to influence modern stuttering intervention across 6 continents. Let's meet David.
David Allen Shapiro is the Robert Lee Madison Distinguished Professor of Communication Sciences and Disorders at Western Carolina University. David describes the first 20 years of his life as a time when stuttering defined and consumed him, affecting his relationships, his sense of his abilities, and what he thought he could become.
My grandfather was an immigrant from Russia, and despite the fact that I stuttered so severely, I felt and I recall that he always believed in me, and I remember walking with him hand in hand by a stream while I was stuttering severely. He said to me, "I love you just the way you are."
David swore an oath that if he could find a way to talk, he would commit his life to helping others find their voice. David earned his MS degree in communication disorders at the University of Vermont and his PhD at Indiana University, and has worked as a speech-language pathologist for 41 years. His commitment has taken the form of teaching, providing clinical service, and conducting research on 6 continents. His book, Stuttering Intervention, A Collaborative Journey to Fluency Freedom, now in its 2nd edition, presents a compendium of research and his unique point of view on clinical intervention. His 100 other publications in professional journals have appeared in 7 different languages. With a colleague from France, David provided treatment to people of all ages who stutter from 20 different African nations. Dr. Moussa Dow, a pharmacist and person who stutters in Burkina Faso, summarized David's impact.
Dr. Shapiro has changed the life of so many persons of my country and other African countries. He will remain in our mind forever.
David received the International Fluency Association's Award for Outstanding Clinician and later served as the IFA president from 2012 to 2014. In 2016, he received the Oliver Max Gardner Award, the University of North Carolina Board of Governors' highest honor for faculty in its 17-campus system that recognizes the greatest contribution to the welfare of the human race, and the honors of the North Carolina Speech, Hearing, and Language Association. One of David's recommenders, Dr. Scott Yaris, stated Dr. Shapiro is a model to us all, while remaining the most humble and gentle of souls. One of his clients, now a speech-language pathologist, shared, "When I met David Shapiro, a person who stutters and who learned to speak freely, hope, inspiration, and faith found their way into my vision." David describes Kay as his girlfriend and wife of 34 years.
Kay has given me my life meaning by offering me love and support in every way and every moment, and by showing me that all things are possible when you have one person who believes in you.
David and Kay have 2 adult children, Sarah and Aaron. As a way to give back, David and his wife have established the David A. and Kay Slattery Shapiro Scholarship for Specialists in Fluency Disorders. ASHA is proud to celebrate the life and work of 2017 honoree David Allen Shapiro.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2017 honoree David Allen Shapiro. Our next awards were presented at other events at the convention, and this evening the recipients receive a special mention.
The American Speech Language Hearing Foundation is proud to recognize and support individuals who explore bold ideas and pursue new breakthroughs. At the American Speech Language Hearing Foundation Founders Breakfast this morning, the ASHA Foundation conferred awards and funding in the total amount of $637,000 to 66 outstanding researchers, student scholars, and clinicians. We encourage you to read about their achievements in ASHA Foundation and Association publications and on our ASHA Foundation website. We thank and take pride in the ASHA Foundation community who so generously supports our innovators and sparks innovation. And we hope all of our colleagues will join us as we continue our work to transform our field and change people's lives for the better. This evening, the ASHA Foundation is pleased to introduce to this audience the individuals chosen to receive these clinical awards. 2017 Frank R. Kleffner Lifetime Clinical Career Award, John F. Miller. 2017 Louis M. DiCarlo Award for Recent Clinical Achievement, Cheryl Rosen. And the 2017 Roland J. Van Hattem Award for Contributions in the Schools, Marilyn Sandler. Marilyn was unable to attend this evening's program. The awards of the National Student Speech Language Hearing Association were presented at the NISLA Honors Award ceremony and reception this afternoon. The Honors of NISLA was presented to Kathy L. Shapley, who through her work with students has made significant contributions to both NISLA and the discipline of communication sciences and disorders. The Chapter of the Year honors was presented to the University of Cincinnati for their significant commitment to increasing chapter engagement and an awareness of National NISLA's mission through inventive recruitment efforts, outstanding growth in National NISLA membership, and innovative advocacy efforts.
Visionary, global prominence, transformative are just a few words to describe the significant impact our next honoree, Susan L. Thibault, has had on our understanding and study of voice and voice disorders. Let's look now at the remarkable life and work of Susan.
Susan L. Thibault is a professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Collaboration has been a hallmark throughout Susan's academic life and career. She studies the newer field of vocal fold biology, relying on collaborations with people outside of the field. She credits collaboration with defining her work and for her success. While Susan knew she wanted to study voice when she pursued her PhD, there was nothing intrinsic that drove her to go in one specific research direction over another.
Everything really has happened almost serendipitously. I take advantage of opportunities that present themselves. I've been flexible.
These serendipitous opportunities most often came via Susan's mentors who helped shape her passions. She cites her master's mentor, Elaine Stathopoulos, as being a very strong influence.
She really gave me a really good foundation. She was always very encouraging.
Diane Bless, Susan's PhD mentor, was an extraordinary source of support, guiding Susan into vocal fold biology while providing her with outstanding support throughout her PhD and the years since.
Diane Bless, I actually call my academic mother. Now, actually, we live across the street from one another, which is just fortuitous.
Stephen Gray, MD, was another figure who played prominently in Susan's life story.
So in the area of vocal fold biology, I would consider Stephen Gray the grandfather of the field. He was just an incredible mentor because he was infectious and enthusiastic and excited all the time. So you couldn't help but catch that from him.
Susan paid mentorship forward, taking under her wing myriad graduate students, postdocs, clinicians, and clinical fellows who have, she said, challenged her and taught her more than she's taught them.
When one of your students graduates, sad always, but then, they go out and they get these amazing jobs and they themselves turn around and are doing amazing things. And that to me is what it's all about, right? It's that continuation.
Lastly, the speech pathology team that she works with at the UW Voice and Swallow clinics are her pride, as they demonstrate excellence in patient care, education, and research on a daily basis.
I enjoy collaborating with them. I consider them all my extended family.
And speaking of family, Susan cites her husband David and her teen sons Jonah and Simon as being incredibly generous, encouraging, and understanding.
I've been lucky to have a very supportive husband, and my kids, through the process of all of this, know where they sit in my life. They know that they are my priority, even though at times I'm at work too much.
ASHA is proud to celebrate the life and work of 2017 honoree Susan L. Thibault.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2017 honoree Susan L. Tebow. Our next 2017 honoree is William A. Yost. An avid tennis player and skier, his selfless contributions have changed our understanding and approach to auditory perception. Let's look at his career path and outstanding endeavors.
William A. Yost is a research professor of speech and hearing science at Arizona State University. Bill's parents, a physicist and a journalist, were both passionate about education. From an early age, they instilled in Bill and his younger brother that learning is fun.
Our family was always discussing all topics with the emphasis that to understand the things we were discussing and dealing with as a family, you really needed to understand history, humanities, science, everything.
Bill went to college thinking he might major in something like chemistry or math. But his mother told him to learn new things and suggested he take a psychology class.
I can remember to this day saying, what the heck is that? The faculty at Colorado College were especially good at cultivating that idea that you could, in fact, study a complex topic like behavior in a scientific, quantitative way, and I was hooked.
That Bill wound up studying hearing was part chance and partly due to crucial mentors influencing him at pivotal stages of his life. While a graduate student, he studied the theory of signal detection with Don Robinson.
That was a large part of my education at Indiana University was that theory, and it turns out that hearing is a good way to test many of the aspects of the theory of signal detection.
This work led Bill to becoming a postdoctoral fellow at the University of California, San Diego, studying with his next mentor, Dave Green. Bill says that without a doubt, his research could not have been done without the financial support of state and federal agencies, industrial organizations, and foundations. In particular, he recognizes the National Institute on Deafness and Other Communication Disorders. It and other agencies have supported his research for 48 years.
There was no NIDCD. Hearing was funded out of the Neurology Institute, but I've always admired the program officers that oversaw hearing either in the Neurology or the Communication Disorders Institute.
He specifically cites NIH's Earlene Elkins, Lois Elliott, Amy Donahue, and Jim Batty for their assistance. The love and support of Bill's family have also sustained him over time. He and his wife Lee have been married for 48 years. Their two daughters, Kelly and Allison, each have given Bill and Lee 2 grandchildren. Bill's enthusiasm for his work shows no sign of waning.
That's what drives me to continue to learn, continue to try to understand the world we live in. But you can't really do a very good job of that in isolation. You need help, and family, mentors, colleagues, and friends are the helpers to me in trying to continue to better understand the world we live in.
ASHA is proud to celebrate the life and work of 2017 honoree William A. Yost.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2017 honoree William A. Yost. Once again, please join me in welcoming the 2017 ASHA Honors recipients.
Anthony S. Bashir. Alan O. Diefendorf. Sandra Gordon Salant. Karen Eiler Kirk. Ann W. Kummer. Sally J. Peterson Falzone. David Allen Shapiro. Susan L. Tebow. William A. Yost.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for recipients of the ASHA Honors of 2017. Ordinary colleagues, mentors, friends who are continuing to do exceptional things and have a profound impact, make notable differences in our ability as professionals to leave a lasting footprint on society. And now, let us continue the celebration. As you all know, our dear Mrs. Glenn is no longer traveling to be with us to present the Annie Award in person. She did, however, have a hand in the selection of Speechless and sent her remarks and asked President Gail Richard to present the award on her behalf. Please join me in welcoming Gail Richard, who will read a letter from Annie.
Hello, my dear ASHA friends. My thanks to ASHA President Gail Richard for sharing my message with you today. Illinois isn't exactly Ohio, but we do share Midwestern roots, so that I am sure she will make you feel like I am right there with you. I'm sorry that I cannot be with you this evening. It has been such a pleasure for me to join you as you celebrate the remarkable achievements of so many awardees and honorees. This is a special night for so many people, and I want to offer my congratulations to all of the award winners and the honorees from this evening. How wonderful it is to be recognized by your peers for your important work and your contributions. My thanks to each and every one of you. I said several years ago that communication disorders are not solitary. They are disorders that impact families, families of husbands and wives, parents and children, siblings, cousins, and grandparents. Communication disorders are, at their very core, disorders with social and familial impact. I want to underscore the importance of family, not only as partners in the recovery process, but as members of a larger network of caring people like all of you in this audience. I want to reiterate how important family has been in my own journey. You all know the support that I receive from my dear husband, John, and all of my children. There were serious, funny, and mundane moments through it all. Though back then, the telephone was the most complicated and terrifying piece of technology that I had to face. I can't even begin to think how different things would have been or could be with all of the new fancy technology of today. That young actor Micah makes it look pretty easy. So I bet it's going to change a lot of lives. And with that in mind, this year's Annie Award is presented to the TV series Speechless, a show about a family with a son who has a communication disorder. Now, while the title is speechless, this family has definitely figured out how to communicate. Now, some might say that they aren't a typical family, but what makes the show funny and true is that they are a typical family. There are sibling arguments, worried and exasperated parents, and good old teacher shenanigans that are part of everyday life. And one of the characters simply has to express himself in a different way. They communicate love and support in every episode. And it really is remarkable that a show like this is on TV these days. Years ago, an individual with a disability like this would never have been a lead character in such a funny show. So think about how many people now understand that people who use different ways to communicate are the same as you and me, and that TV family is just as silly as your own family. So I think it gives a lot of hope to families out there who are dealing with some struggles and trying to figure out some of the next steps. Nothing is bigger than a family who is working together. So like the ASHA theme this year, focus on the big picture, the TV family on Speechless is careful to not only focus on the character JJ, the young man who uses an AAC device, but to show the big picture of the whole family. The show's creator, Scott Silveri, grew up in a family with a brother who had cerebral palsy. Now, based on this show, it must have been a pretty fun family. The actor Michael Fowler, who plays the character JJ, also has the same medical condition in real life, but he is able to communicate verbally with some effort. Cedric Yarborough plays another important role that many of you know as an extra voice for the character of JJ. Minnie Driver, John Ross Bowie, Mason Cook, and Kyla Kennedy round out the rest of the family. So we are grateful to the creator, the writers, the cast and crew who produced this thoughtful, funny, and inspiring show. By sharing their story each week, they're spreading good news about families who are overcoming communication challenges together. So for their candor, for raising awareness, for their humor, it is a great pleasure that I am able to award the 2017 Annie to this TV show, Speechless.
And here we are. Excuse me, there's no handicap placard on your car. I'm sorry, love, you were saying?
Back road! This is a very different show.
Count.
What some people might perceive as hardship, but what is really just life.
Let's call this meeting of our special needs mum support group to disorder. Because all the kids have disorders. You give our disabled children weapons so they could fight each other.
No, I'm the good guy. This is an inclusivity thing.
Scott Silveri is an amazing writer.
He's writing from the heart. He grew up with a brother who had special needs.
One time, I told a girl that I liked her, and she said, "Sorry, but I'm not a lesbian." You don't have to laugh that hard.
It gave it another depth, another dimension.
I know what it's like to put yourself out there and have it not work out. To know RE regrets.
JJ is all there.
Yeah.
You just look at the board and it speaks.
My human touch makes for easier connections.
Can you watch porn?
Oh, porn? You kissed your mother with that board?
He's a regular 18-year-old teenager.
Just give it a little bit of gas.
It's something that I haven't really seen on TV before, so I'm excited to be a part of it.
It's a great family for our times, I think.
That's the finger. Work in progress.
My hope is to inspire other kids like me.
Accepting the award on behalf of Speechless are Micah Fowler, Cedric Yarborough, and the executive producer, Melvin Marr.
so cool. So cool. Oh, hello, everyone. So awesome. This is so cool. So cool. I'm a millennial, so I have my speech on my phone here. Thank you. Please sit. We are grateful to the community of advocates and pioneers who make up ASHA, and we're honored to receive this recognition on behalf of Scott Silveri, our creator, not our creator, the creator, the creator of our show, the producers, and our amazing cast and wonderful crew of Speechless. We are particularly humbled to accept an award named for Annie Glenn, who became a loud voice for people who, with communication disabilities and an ambassador to people with disabilities of all kinds. All this decades ago, where differences were met with far less understanding and acceptance. The world looked to John Glenn as a hero. John Glenn looked to Annie as a hero, and we do as well. Thank you.
I am not a millennial and older than Cedric, so it's on a piece of paper. No. I share sincere gratitude from the rest of our team who are back working on the show right now. Our other cast members, the crew, and my partner, Scott Silveri, our show's creator. Speechless is all about communication, finding a voice, and Scott, like all of us, is deeply touched to be recognized for storytelling and fiction by this esteemed group of people who make real-world progress for real people every day. About 3 years ago, Scott and I sat down to talk about his next show. He started telling me a story about a family drawn from his own life growing up. In it was a big brother who was a bit of a joker and could be a bit of a bully. The last detail was his brother had CP and used a wheelchair and is nonverbal. I remember thinking, that's something we've never seen before, and that needs to be on TV. As Scott started writing and we began putting the show together, we knew that the character of JJ had to be portrayed by an actor with a disability. We had to find an actor that actually dealt with it and knew what it was like. It was a tall order, but along came Micah Fowler, and we knew we could make the show.
Thank you. We would like to thank ASHA for this award. I had the opportunity to visit the exhibit and to attend some amazing sessions today. And I was blown away. Growing up with CP, play a significant role in my life because of the determination and skills of my therapist. I learned to walk, eat, and use my hands, and even speak. The person I have developed into would not have been possible without the wonderful team who dedicated their lives to this profession. This award is very special and so appreciated. But the true heroes here are each and every one of you. Who work every day to change the lives of those of us in the special needs community. I am so very grateful to every member of the amazing team that came together to help me. And to all of you who chose this profession to help others with special needs to succeed in life. As you watch Speedless, no, you are making a difference. And your work. Tell all your patients, clients, friends, family to watch Speechless. so we can continue to run for many more seasons.
Wednesday nights, ABC.
All of us at Speeders are truly humbled and honored to receive this award from such an incredible team of heroes. Thank you.
You want to lead? Sure. Gonna go this way. Congratulations. Thank you. You ready to go?
You want to come in?
Younger now. You are. You really younger.
This was an incredible evening. Congratulations to all of tonight's recipients. We hope you had a great time and can't wait to see everyone back at the 2018 ASHA Awards ceremony in Boston. Good night.